So at the end of the day, we as humans, we still have the power to decide how the technology is built and what is it used for. If I think of a stat that I read recently, World Economic Forum estimates that by 2025, technology will create at least 12 million jobs. Then it destroys, and the jobs are focused on technology. So again, just helping create that awareness that AI is here to stay. How can we shift our fears to thinking about what skills we need to upgrade? So it's more of an upskilling question and reskilling the workforce.
This is the Definitely Uncertain podcast, brought to you by Gold Rock Capital. Each week, we look at how high net worth families can improve their lives, decisions, and investments in a deeply uncertain world. We always aim to provide practical information, even if we can't offer specific investment advice. This is the Definitely Uncertain podcast, and my name is Darren Rockman, and I'm a partner at Gold Rock Capital, the more than 20-year-old multifamily office servicing high net worth families in Israel and around the world. And welcome to the podcast to Rica Aurora.
Thank you, Darren. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
It's a pleasure. So Rica is a senior family advisor at KPMG Family Office in Toronto, Canada, and she brings more than 20 years experience working as a consultant, both to private and to public enterprises. She leads the family dynamics and governance practice, and is the multifamily office advisor for many prominent Canadian families. And she also is an expert on the intersection between AI, artificial intelligence, and the family office world. And with artificial intelligence being such a huge topic and one that we're all hearing more and more about every single day, we thought we'd ask Rica to come in and talk to us a little bit about how AI is impacting the family office market and what the next few years are going to look like, and some of the opportunities and maybe some of the concerns. So that's why you're here, Rica. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay, so let's start by saying how did you get into this interesting combination of family offices and AI? You're the first and only person I know that's doing this.
That's amazing. Well, I think a bit by accident, if I may say, but I would, a pleasant one. So just a little bit about my background. So I over 20 years of experience specializing in human capital consulting. That includes leadership development, facilitation. And by way of that, I started working with technology, like just technology transformation projects. So I would come in as a management consultant and I would be helping public and private organizations lead large technology projects. Latter part of those years were spent in helping companies understand the impact of new technologies. We started putting out thought leadership and starting assessing, what will the adoption of AI and robotic process automation, how can it streamline day-to-day operations? What is a broader impact on the workforce? And then the last 4+ years, I transitioned all of that experience into our family office practice.
Right.
And now I'm at the intersection of, navigating complexity for family offices, but private enterprises, ultra high net worth families, and bringing all of that experience, to the table.
Fantastic. Okay. So let's get into AI. I think everybody understands this is only the beginning. Everyone's sort of playing around with ChatGPT, and a friend of mine told me that the other day that he chose a Paris hotel using ChatGPT, and people writing emails on and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Perhaps give us some examples as to how you see artificial intelligence impacting the family office and the broader finance world over the next 5 years. Where are we going to see the change?
So I agree. This is just the beginning. For years we've been talking about digitization and the impact it will have on businesses. And I think with the pandemic, what we're seeing now is a rapid AI adoption across industries. I think artificial intelligence in finance truly has the power to transform the end-to-end experience, right from accessing money to borrowing, to lending, to saving, and as well as to investing, but also streamlining the experience overall. So some of the examples I would say that stand out for me, that have the power to shape this industry in the next 5 years would be how financial markets are leveraging machine learning to identify risks. There's AI models being developed to study alternative data sets to predict better outcomes. How we improve online financial security. We've all been privy to, frauds and very prevalent security attacks. AI truly has, I think, great opportunity in improving security overall. And I think the last one I would mention is how AI can help raise capital, identify and analyze investors, do due diligence, and just overall streamline operational sort of processes so that advisors can truly, advise the clients with more strategic insights.
Right. So that's both on the capital raising, but also the capital allocation piece, which is obviously important to family offices.
Absolutely. What we're seeing at KPMG Family Office, we've invested a lot in AI tools. Um, we're always faced with a huge amount of data, whether it be, financial data, investment, or legal data.
Mhm.
So AI has played a key role in just synthesizing, huge amounts of data, helping us, have more insights at a faster pace. And also in the end, providing the client with just, an integrated view of their entire portfolio, and then helping them make better decisions when it comes to invest.
Can you perhaps give me an example of that today? We're all sort of thinking about what the future is, but an
Yeah.
example of how AI is being used in a family office context. March 2023. It's actually the 23rd of March 2023. So it's 23/3/23. It's a good date. So yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of family office platforms, including ours, we are using AI and robotic process automation to help incorporate a lot of data with certain platforms to take banking feeds, all of the investment brokerages accounts, synthesize the data, and create dashboards for the clients. So that's one simple way where we're actually supporting faster decision making. The second example would be creating better and faster tax reporting. Accounts payable is a huge administrative burden for a lot of family offices. So we're again just expediting the process by using AI to read invoices and expedite processing. And then I would say the last one, would be helping clients get to the bottom of some of their asset classes. Normally, if they have a large portfolio, um understanding where they're getting the best returns, what are the best in class benchmarks out there.
Mhm.
AI is actually helping make sense of all of that data so that then
Right.
the client just needs to review what's put in front of them, and then easily make decisions, hire or fire, the best
Right.
managers around.
And of course, there's also the correlation piece. And one of the things that, when you build a very diverse portfolio, one of the things that you risk is that elements within the portfolio which you think are not correlated actually turn out to be highly correlated. And that's, I suppose, another way where the AI is going to help improve over time the creation and customization of client portfolios.
Yeah, and regardless of there's such sophisticated platforms out there that have the ability to process and standardize data from any source, regardless of the currency, the type of transaction, or the asset type. So I think that integrated seamless experience did not exist before, and that AI has really helped us with that.
Right, right. Okay. Um, so for a family that's interested in this and who's saying we want to take the best advantage of the tools today and also be prepared for those tools tomorrow, how do you go about it?
So I say the first step would be understanding what's right for you and building an understanding of how AI works. There's certainly a lot of fears and anxieties out there, ethical considerations that family and family offices have. So, I would say that would be a starting point. Understand what it means. Involve all of your key stakeholders, including, the rising generation that are involved in the space. And then manage expectations for what AI is able to deliver for your current state, but also for your future state. Um, and then, continue to learn, test out certain platforms. But overall, have a change management program. And, if you've got an advisor that's supporting with you on the journey, leverage them to ensure that, your AI implementation is successful.
Right. And is that a that that sort of change management advisor, is that someone that comes from the IT world? Is that someone that comes from the family office world and the finance world? What type of leadership do you need for that process?
Yeah. So depending on the scale of the AI adoption, I would say, you know, skill set around change management usually comes from technology transformation. So there's consulting organizations that will have that skill set embedded within their IT or tech implementation model,
Hmm.
and it's essentially starting from what is the change that you're looking to implement. Um, you know, who are the end stakeholders in mind, and just making sure that the change actually sticks,
Right.
or it could be an internal resource that is really interested in technology and takes time to really understand and build out a proper change and implementation plan.
Right. Right. And I think your point about expectation management is good. And we've been here at Gold Rock been implementing an AI based product for now, I think, 6 months, and it's been a struggle. It's not been plain sailing, and the promise is there, and we're really excited about it. But there are speed bumps along the way.
Sure. And I would say there is a misconception that, like, oh, AI is a technology of the
Right.
future, when in reality, most individuals, most of us, are interacting with AI even when we don't know it on a
Sure.
day-to-day basis.
Sure.
And a lot of family offices are asking questions. And I would say there are many clients that I'm dealing with now, particularly this year, where they've started to ask the question to say, okay, how can we do this much faster?
Yeah.
We're spending way too much time, we're living in archaic sort of Excel systems analyzing
Right.
things. Our CIO is not as sophisticated. So
Right.
truly, the AI adoption this year in particular, I would think is much higher. At least people
Right.
are asking the question.
Okay. So I want to pick up on a point a word you threw in before, um, and that is the word fear. 1987, a cinema in Jerusalem. I went and saw RoboCop,
Yeah.
um, and that was probably early sort of fear mongering movie about AI gone wild. What are the concerns that people have? Job destruction,
Mhm.
security, ethical considerations. Where does this data go? Even the people creating AI don't really have a good handle on what the AI is doing with the data. So, how do you, as an advisor to families, answer those concerns?
I would separate the two themes around, fear and anxieties and ethical considerations in how AI is built and deployed. So when it comes to addressing fear and anxiety of clients, I think an important step I like to take, when I'm chatting with clients is helping them understand AI just in more broadly. Sometimes we actually bring in the family office teams, including families into our offices and do a broader learning session to debunk the myths of what AI is not. So and then help them understand where their fears are realistic or unrealistic. Um, For example, Chat GPT, which has been, hugely popular, and now, GPT-4 that was just launched, I think, 10 days ago, is a large language model designed and built by humans. So at the end of the day, we as, humans, we still have the power to decide how the technology is built and what is it used for. If I, think of a stat that I read recently. World Economic Forum estimates that by 2025, technology will create at least 12 million jobs. Then it destroys, and the jobs are focused on technology. So, again, just helping create that awareness that AI is here to stay. How can we shift our fears to thinking about what skills we need to upgrade? So it's more of an upskilling question and reskilling the workforce. That usually shifts the conversation. And then regarding the ethical considerations, I think being mindful of how AI can be used to perform certain tasks. If you're worried about where the data is stored, one of the things that we really take great care of is ensuring that the service stored locally in Canada, and that is usually very important to our clients. So asking the right questions will really help cultivate that digital mindset that I think is at a foundational level of implementing some of these tools.
Okay, interesting. Um, let's now sort of switch back to the investment management piece, okay, which is probably one of the more obvious places where AI can improve the life of a family office.
Mhm.
Um, what are you seeing today
Mhm.
in terms of tools, actual tools available, and what are you expecting in the near future?
So I would say top use cases for AI in the family office investment management world would be access to greater insights. So I talked about a couple of tools we're
Yeah,
using for our clients that are taking huge amounts of data across a diverse portfolio, and just helping us as advisors help make better decisions for our clients. Some of them have the capability to read earning transcripts, even, and assessing future growth opportunities and help generate the alpha, so to say, for the client. The second one would be enhancing operational efficiency. So we talked about streamlining bill payments,
yeah,
accounts payable, accounting, bookkeeping type of functions, including tax and legal. So that has been hugely beneficial for our clients. We can give them faster service. They have access to all of their data and status updates at their fingertips.
mhm,
And then lastly, helping them manage risk. So by automating some of the cyber security, processes that we have in place, we're now able to help our clients predict some of the cyber security risks that may be present in the family office ecosystem.
right. Let's just focus a little bit about the cybersecurity because that's an element that people don't really talk about that much, which is using AI, certainly in the family office context, using AI to reduce risk. Maybe talk about some of go into a little bit about the use cases around.
Mhm. So I can say, from example, we've had a number of cases with our clients in the last few years, where as a quarterback of the family, I get a phone call, and they have been unfortunately part of a very sophisticated cybersecurity threat, which could lead to a drain of the hard-earned capital. So we've got cybersecurity specialists in house that could come in, and by using some of these technology tools, they can really, get to the bottom of where the threat's coming from. So analyzing, emails, various technology, laptops, computers, and so on, by simply, sitting in their office and understanding where the gaps are and quickly create a response plan for them.
Right. Right. So gap analysis, being the guard at the gate, those types of things. Or the sort of the cyber overlay.
Correct. And hugely important and often neglected one
Yeah.
in the space. And with technology getting more advanced, the cyber threats are certainly getting even more advanced. So getting ahead of that, proactively managing it, even by some cyber security assessments. So in
Mhm.
some cases now where we've helped create that awareness, we go in on a periodic basis and help our clients, again, using some technology tools to do the current state analysis, but before it's become a threat, and help them, adopt security measures to ensure that, they're always staying ahead.
Right. Do you also make sure that they don't get onto public Wi-Fi?
It's always a recommendation, especially,
Uh,
when they're on a yacht somewhere in Europe, right?
or in an airport lounge.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, what percentage of the families that you're talking to, would you say are showing an interest in this, a serious interest in this area? Is this every other day you're getting a call? Is it building up?
I think it's building up. Do we have as much momentum as we would expect? No. I would say percentage wise, it's hard to say, but 20 to 30% of the families are taking this very seriously.
Mhm.
And I would say there are some that are much ahead in the journey and have already started adopting, some AI into their
Tools.
family office ecosystem, versus others are just getting started, asking the questions, uh, and assessing their own tolerance to AI.
Right, right. It's interesting because we made the transition here from sort of Excel to systems 10, 12 years ago, and then have been improving those systems as you go along. And what we're finding is that the AI modules are now starting to be built in to the sort of core state of the art systems that we're using. So
Yeah,
it's not necessarily, hey, I need to get AI here, but how is AI going to improve the systems that I already have?
absolutely. Yeah, something simple comes to mind. So we all in large organizations are used to using Microsoft.
Yeah,
Just in the last 2 to 3 years, Microsoft has put in a huge amount of investment in simplifying their collaboration tools. It was recently in the news that they will now be leveraging GPT-4 and tools of the world to incorporate into PowerPoint and some of
yeah,
the other Microsoft platforms to cut out sort of the basic work that we would do. So I think more and more technology platforms have AI already integrated, believe it or not, into
right.
their platforms. Yeah.
Right. Do you see that, there's been a sort of move, on the investment side, particularly in private capital? So, there's public markets, but there's also venture capital, private equity, private credit, real estate. There's been a move there toward democratization of those products. Um, do you see AI having a role in the democratization of those products? And does that mean, one of the advantages of family offices, which have patient long term capital, is that they've been able to take advantage alongside big institutions like sovereign wealth funds of long term opportunities and really draw better returns. So if the stock market compounds at X, so private credit or private equity should compound it higher than that. Um, do you see AI as moving forward that democratization, and what does that mean for family offices and their advantages?
I think it's hard to have a black and white answer to that. I think what I'll say is it's important for family offices to again just see technology, AI, and digitization in general as their own sort of competitive advantage. Um, I talked earlier about investment reporting solutions on the market that are using artificial intelligence and machine learning to streamline
Yeah.
their reporting.
Hmm.
And these innovations I find in particular are very attractive to family offices, where, they can integrate those predictive analytics, investment recommendations, and take it into their overall sort of decision making system. It will certainly cause a big shift, I think, as how the financial markets are um, streamlining their own process in terms of looking at different data sets, like weather forecasts or transportation trends or what have you. Previously, that would have taken a lot longer
Right.
to, bake it into the overall, I would say, recommendation. So I think it will continue to shift in a positive direction, and um, the meaningful insights, will make the family offices much more, I would say, stronger in in their ability to also advise their own sort of families um or family office leaders.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, for a family that is beginning on this journey and saying, "Hey, Rick, I have no idea what you're talking about. I played around with ChatGPT. You know, that was fun, but
Yeah.
I have my family office. What would be the first steps for a family saying, "Yeah, this is interesting, but I just don't know how to get started."
Yeah. I would say identify what's your biggest pain point right now. You know, think about where are you spending your most time, where you're like, this is not a value add. It's not helping me, gain any value or make money. So start small, identify, is there a tool out there that can actually simplify, your life? You and I earlier, I think we're chatting about personal assistants, and, tons of tools are being developed. Is there one tool that solves it all? Probably not. But there could be, a small task that you could start to outsource to AI, right? Like
Right.
by calendaring, something small. And then the next step would be, test out a few tools and see if it works for yourself. And then the next, take the next big step to something else. Maybe you're interested in a robo, advisor type of a model for your own financial, or picking stocks. So I would
Right.
say start small, but
And then eventually get to reporting and risk
correct,
management and security.
correct, yeah. Because I think everyone in their ecosystem has various pain points. So mapping them all out, and identifying how does that fit in with your goal, or broader objectives.
Right, right. Okay. Um, Now I'm going to throw out a sort of final question for you. What does the world look like 5, 10 years from now when AI is this, you know, at least according to today's expectations, this sort of ubiquitous, all pervasive influence in our lives, sort of transformational in the same way, the iPhone was, in 10, 15 years ago.
I think it'll be a transparent world. I truly think that AI has the power to create greater transparency for all industries, for all stakeholders, um, and with transparency, a better, more secure world where every day folks are not waking up thinking, what is the impact of technology in my life? And I think it would have addressed all fears and anxieties in my mind. Help focus all of us, use our human brains for more strategic, higher value things and cut down sort of the day to day mundane aspects. It will certainly cause a huge upskilling of the skill. So I think we'll see a gradual shift, in the next 2 years on, okay, you need to retrain all your workforce to really adopt AI. So I think I'm very hopeful and positive. It will be a much better world, and it will leave us all with more time to enjoy, the finer things in life, as we all desire to
Okay. And the
experience.
most important question is it going to help central bankers not make a mistake?
I think data accuracy should be one of the first things, banks. And I think we're seeing use cases of that already today. Data accuracy, reducing human error is certainly something that AI has helped address. That is where, an advisor comes in and all they have to do is just take 100% of the data, add on their sort of strategic insights and deliver to the client. So absolutely.
Great, fantastic. Well, Rika, thank you. This has been really, really interesting. It's a brand new world, and maybe we'll bring you back sometime in the future, and we can look back and say, this is what we thought in 2023, and look how
Yes,
much faster it's gone.
certainly. Thank you, Darren. It was an
Great.
absolute pleasure, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. And for all of you listening, thanks for tuning in, and there'll be more episodes coming your way soon. Thanks, Rica. Thanks, everybody.